Hello and welcome. This is Wise Woman Television with Errity Green. Welcome to this week's Pick a Card reading. So this is our first Pick a Card reading on this channel. I do love doing Pick a Card readings. I would love to do more of these. However, it's a huge energy expenditure, and so I will probably begin with only once or twice per month, and we'll see how they do and how they benefit each of you. I first encourage you to like and subscribe. Liking ensures that other people see this video, and subscribing ensures your commitment to yourself. Every time a notification pops up, you can return to these videos and therefore your own spiritual growth and personal growth. So with that, I will be inserting a picture here. That way you can pick your pile. You'll have card options 1, 2, or 3. So you'll have a moment to do that now. All right. And so diving into pile 1, if you picked out pile 1, let's talk about your spiritual destiny. So that's today's topic, picking a card for your spiritual destiny. Card pile 1. So what you're supposed to be learning for yourself in terms of your spiritual destiny, what you are learning for yourself is to take something that is in the mental and emotional and spiritual realm and bring it into form. To actually take what you feel inclined toward, ideas and inspirations that come to you, instead of holding on to them or daydreaming about them or writing about them or thinking about them or analyzing them or overanalyzing them. Your role and your spiritual destiny is to learn to bring this into form. And it doesn't matter how you do it. Your life will continue to guide you and show you the way and support you to bring it into form. To be able to learn this skill, of course, in such a way that you will more than likely bring it into your purpose path or even purpose work supporting other people. But your evolution in this lifetime has to do with taking something from spirit and bringing it into the physical and actually creating something in your life that was born within yourself. And of course, we're always manifesting and we're always creating and co-creating. So it's not like you aren't doing that all the time now, but this is intentional. This is learning to become the creator, learning to become the master, learning to create in your life from what is inside of you. So your first part of your spiritual destiny has to do with you learning and being empowered to step into actually creating something physical in your own life. Now, in terms of your spiritual destiny, how you might impact others most effectively, or a way that you support people, this could be in your everyday life or even in a work or career or purpose path. Or legacy work that you do, and it has to do with supporting people to uncover their own creatorship within them, helping them to discover their own power, helping them to discover their own freedom, supporting them to see that which you have discovered within yourself, supporting them to become the master, the creator, the masterful creator that you had learned to become, because you learned to take it from here to there, point A to point B. And now you are able to pass it on and support other people. Now that could look like a simple inspiration. It could look like people are inspired by your journey and by your walk and by your own spiritual path because they're seeing you bring things into form, and that is inspiring them and motivating them and helping them believe and see that it is possible. And it could also be more intentional, such that you are in a job or career or purpose path or some kind of work. Maybe you own your own business, but you are supporting other people step by step as well, based on what you have learned and what you have overcome, to support them to do the very same thing in their own lives and in their own experiences. Now, in terms of how you change the world, so how does your spiritual destiny in particular and uniquely change the world? A couple of things are coming up, so this won't be for everybody, but this will be for a few of you, is that perhaps you will actually be a writer, or you will write music. There might be something that you are actually writing down or posting or publishing. So it also could be something like a thought leader. Like I said, it could be something like a writer. It could also be something like a songwriter. But it's also about, again, how you have learned to bring something into form in your own life. you are setting the example and this greater vision and model of bringing things into form on the collective level. So as you do it in your own life and in your own experience, and you begin to support other people to do the same thing, whether directly or indirectly, you are also stepping into this role of supporting the world to be a place, a co-creation where everyone is stepping into their paths or stepping into their roles or beginning to bring things into form. And even with the writing and the songwriting, and again, that's bringing something into form, so that's the more literal interpretation here. And there's something here about being a visionary. There's something here about bringing something to the cusp, bringing something forward that either hasn't been done before or is done rarely, but you are helping this movement, this cause, and I even have some emotion here. You are helping bring this momentum. You are helping build something on planet Earth toward a greater future, toward something more brilliant and beautiful for all beings, by bringing it into form in your own life and then acting as an example or serving other people directly or indirectly with the same level of work. And by bringing your work into form and stepping into the spiritual path or destiny, you change the world through stepping into this vision that becomes the greater vision, such that when everyone starts to step into their vision and purpose path, this all comes about in the co-creative or collective reality because everyone's doing it. Let me see if I can fix the focus here. There we go. So your spiritual destiny then is about, answering the call. Your spiritual destiny is about stepping into it, doing the darn thing, doing the thing, bringing it into form, getting whatever support you need to bring it into form. If, on our path, if it's been a struggle or a challenge for us to bring something into form, it's more than likely that is it could be a weak point for us, right? And that's because it's meant to be broken through, and we are meant to then inhabit a greater expression of ourselves through learning or mastering the skill or embodiment, whatever it is. And so when you bring something into form, that being your spiritual destiny, you are, like I said, setting that example. And then what's the word here? You're like creating this springboard, this launch pad for other people to do the same thing. It's about taking what's inside of you, bringing it out into your own life, and then supporting the world, supporting all people to do the same, because you've set the example, because you've inspired other people, because you have even perhaps worked with people to do it. And as you do this, you are supporting that to happen on a greater macro level. So again, your spiritual destiny is stepping into your spiritual destiny, essentially. And it's like, well, that's obvious. But for you uniquely, other people have different challenges. Yours is that you might even know what your spiritual path is. You know what your spiritual calling is. You know what your spiritual destiny is, but you struggle to actually do it. Right? So that's why I say, like, your spiritual destiny is to step into your spiritual destiny, obviously, but that's your biggest hurdle. It's not that you don't know it. It's not that you aren't clear, although you might get in your mind about it and ask about it and be curious about it, because you haven't taken the action. As soon as you start taking the action and building that momentum, all of that goes away because you're actually doing what you said you were going to do, right? That stuckness disappears the more action you take and the more you get into alignment with who you are and what you truly want and what you know is meant for you. So all that confusion and doubt and uncertainty and all that stuff, that goes away. That's not even relevant. It's only happening because you're stuck and because you haven't moved. So move. Bring it into form. Do everything that I've shared here, and all of that, if you have any confusion or doubts, that goes away. So your spiritual destiny, of course, is stepping into it, doing the darn thing. That is your destiny. So that is for pile 1. Again, I encourage you to like and subscribe, share in the comments if this landed for you, and I look forward to seeing you next time. All right, so we are at pile 2. We are talking about your spiritual destiny. So if you chose pile 2, this is the pile for you. So in terms of your spiritual destiny, the first most important thing that you are stepping into, so we have a number of like tiers or layers of your spiritual destiny we're talking about here, but yours in terms of your own evolution and your own growth and what you step into is learning faith. You are learning trust. You are learning faith. There's this feeling here of, and it almost makes me cry a little bit, of having felt abandoned or left out or forgotten, that perhaps life isn't on your side or isn't partnering with you. that you feel perhaps, again, abandoned and kind of, dare I say, left for dead, right? Left behind in some way. And your spiritual destiny is to learn faith, is to learn trust. You will eventually. You will get there. It could be tomorrow, it could be next week, it could be next month, it could be next year. Your destiny, what you are intended to grow into, is a greater trust and faith, is to feel supported, is to experience support, is to feel it in your bones and every cell and every aspect of your DNA, is to feel the aliveness and the truth of your own being and the support that is with you in every single moment. That is your spiritual destiny. That is who you are. That is what you are meant for. The truth of you is that you've never been abandoned, that you are always supported, and that your particular shift and the reason this has all occurred for you that made you feel this way is so that you could eventually grow into and evolve into and step into this embodiment of ultimate trust and faith, of knowing anyway, of feeling supported, of learning that. So oftentimes in our path, that's why learning has the word earn in it. And I know it's going to be backwards for you guys, has earn in there, because so much of learning is earning, right? We earn faith and trust over time. We earn our spiritual destiny because we grow into it. We have to evolve into it. Of course, there's a part of us that is always in truth and in alignment with our true nature and the divine. That's our our ultimate truth. And we're living in a physical reality where we have these ego identities or personalities. That's the part that has to learn, and that's what we came here for, is this journey in particular. So you learn, earn, trust, and faith. If you feel abandoned right now, if you feel left out, if you feel left behind, know that it's a part of your path, that you are actually never left out or left behind, but that you are being guided and supported to learn faith and trust at the deepest level. So how you support others. When you step out of your own belief in abandonment and your own belief in your own feeling of being unsupported, you are going to be able to either directly or indirectly, either you're setting the example or you are actually perhaps in your own purpose path or purpose work, you might begin to support other people to do this work themselves, but it can also be indirect through the example that you provide in your own life, but it's supporting people to leave victimhood behind. You show people that it is possible to step out of a place where it feels like a black hole or a void or a lack of support. You support people to step into their truest truth, right? Their most authentic self, which is supported, which knows love, which is aware of God, higher power, great spirit, source, whatever your version of what word you like to use for God is. You support people to find that within themselves. After you find it within yourself and you walk that walk, after you find your ultimate mastery within yourself, after you find not just the survivor or the victor, but it's like your own strong, sovereign being who believes in yourself and your own worth and knows that it is supported and that everything is purposeful and it's all supporting you and happening for you, not against you, you are able to then support others to leave that behind too. To leave those old beliefs behind, to leave that old wounding behind, to leave any perceptions of victimhood behind, and to become a true master and a master creator in their own lives. You're learning self-empowerment, self-direction. There's something here about a sense of self that believes in itself, believes in its capabilities, and believes that it has a say in its own reality, that it is not powerless, it is not helpless. It decides and it creates. And anything that has happened to you in this life is because you essentially signed up for it or committed to it as a soul in order to overcome, in order to learn, earn faith, in order to learn, earn trust, in order to learn, earn your highest, truest, most powerful self. You're learning your own power here. You're learning your own power. Now, how does that affect the world at a macro or more collective level? So your spiritual destiny in particular, how does that inform or support world change? You support other people to, so we already talked about you support other people to leave any element of victimhood or powerlessness or helplessness behind and step into something more powerful. Now, in terms of the world change that you contribute to, there's something here about supporting people to trust that inner whisper that says there's something different. Because when we're in a space of victimhood or powerlessness or helplessness or belief that we've been left behind or abandoned, it's very difficult to hear any other voices except for that black void, right? You know, I know those moments. Many of us have had seasons of that. Many of us have lived a lifetime of that. And yet there's usually this small, very little inkling, very little whisper that says, no, I know this isn't true. Or says, wait, there's more here. Or wait, that's not the whole story. That's not the whole truth. You support the world on a global level through you stepping into your spiritual destiny, and through you either indirectly or even directly through some kind of soul work or purpose work or something, supporting people to leave victimhood behind and step into their true, powerful, sovereign nature. By stepping into your role, you remind people, and on a collective level, you push the world toward that following of that little niggle, that little impulse, that little voice inside that says, no, there's more here. No, there's something else. No, it's something about not hearing the story inside of our heads and not paying attention to the physical world, the physical reality that might reflect back to us our past. Because what we're experiencing right now in our physical reality is a reflection of our past efforts, our past thoughts, our past beliefs, our prior conditioning, our old wounds. So remember, it's a little bit of a delay. What you're experiencing in your physical reality now is the creation of months, years, decades of life before this. And so you support people to recognize that this reflection that you're seeing isn't everything, and that the black void that we might feel or experience in our own world isn't the entire truth, that there's more there, that there's a light in the darkness. There is a light in the darkness. You support people to find that, to know that, to uncover that. You move the world, you move the needle toward knowing there is always a light in the darkness. And so the final piece here is, you know, your spiritual destiny then is learning and trusting in your own path. No matter how difficult or trying or challenging or deep or dark it has been, no matter the battle that you are waging right now, no matter the pit, the darkest void that you've found yourself in, is actually, and with every beat of your heart and every cell in your body, trusting that it happened for you. Trusting that you had a say, trusting that you have a say, even if you didn't before, even if you experienced something that was so victimizing and so violating, that not that you have to necessarily take responsibility for that, but that you are taking back your power now and recognizing you have a say in how things go today. Even if you didn't then, you do now. And part of your path then is recognizing that all of this has been purposeful and supportive for you to step into your ultimate personal power. That's what your spiritual destiny is, to know your personal power and to know the power of God, to know there is a light in the darkness. And you support people either directly or indirectly to see that themselves, and to trust this journey, to trust that it is helping you grow and that it is serving you, and that you came here to earn personal power through some difficult terrain, and that you do come out the winner. You win. This is a win-win scenario. You win. Decide that today. Make the choices to step into your own personal power and to continue to do so. And if you like this reading, if you like this video, I encourage you to like. I also encourage you to subscribe if you want more of these. I'll be doing them probably once or twice per month. In the meantime, you can watch the other videos on the channel. And I want to share, I wish the very, very best for you and all of your highest outcomes. They are here and they are ready and they are available for you. You just got to walk that walk. And I know if you're here, if you're watching this video, you're already on the path. Keep going. All right. Until next time. Okay, so card pile 3, we are talking about your spiritual destiny today. So your spiritual destiny is all about leaving your conditioning behind. Your spiritual destiny in terms of your own growth, your own evolution, what you came here to reveal within yourself is to leave all of the old conditioning, the old beliefs behind, the old programming and paradigms and patterns and pains and all the things that were part of your family, maybe even your culture, the generations of disempowerment or wounding or victimization or whatever that is. You are meant to leave all that behind. That does not decide your fate or your destiny or your calling. In fact, you are meant to be the cycle breaker. And I actually have a lot of emotion right now because there's a lot of power in pile 3. You came here to walk this path like a mother lover, if you know what I'm saying, all right? You are like on top of your game, baby. And even if you don't feel that right now, this is your destiny. This is who you become. This is who you are. This is what is meant to unfold and be revealed through the experiences of your life. And as every single layer is pulled apart, like the layers of the onion, like we talk about, right? Every single one of those layers, as you let that old conditioning and the old naysaying and the old BS and the old stories and the old narrative and all that stuff crumbles. And what is revealed is a powerful mother lover. All right, you are stepping into some surreal, supreme personal power here, and you are a cycle breaker, not just for you. I'm feeling like this is big. This isn't just for your family. This is culturally. This is collectively. There is a narrative that you are not subscribing to, baby. Like, there is a narrative that you are like saying, F you to. I'm not messing around. I know there's more for me here. And perhaps you could either be earlier on your journey where you're starting to notice that and commit to this path, and you're not really subscribing to some of the old stories or beliefs or conditioning that tells you you're less than or tells you can only do blank. You could be earlier on in your journey, or you could be where I'm talking about, where you're like, no, that has nothing to do with me. That's old news. Like, bye, right? And how the effect you have on everyone else. So we talked about what you grow into, what you become. Now we talk about how you impact others, how your spiritual destiny supports others. Now, when I talk about that, this could be directly or indirectly. Indirectly, you could be setting the example and inspiring people. You show people what's possible through your own walk, through your own path. It could also be directly working with people in your own soul work or legacy work or whatever to support them step by step to do the work that you've done, to overcome the challenges that you have, to release that conditioning and sort of become that really powerful cycle breaker. So this is the effect you have on other people, is showing them that everything is not as it seems. Those old stories and those old narratives do not have to have a say on your current life. They do not have to have a say on your particular path. They do not have to have a say. The old past does not have to be projected onto your present or your future. That is the past. It does not even have to be looked at. It can be acknowledged. We can be honest with it, right? We can face it. It's not avoidance and running away from and I'm scared of that. No, it's facing it, realizing it, recognizing and saying, that's not for me. I'm not subscribing to that. That's what you're here to do. And through your own spiritual destiny, through stepping into this embodiment, you either directly or indirectly support others to see that all of that stuff that has been told to them and their own family, whatever conditioning is holding them back, whatever conditioning tells them that it's not possible for them, that no, that's not true. Everything is not as it seems. It might look that way. People might be saying it is that way, but that's an old story and it no longer defines you. It has never defined you, and you are meant to do different and to be greater and to be better than any of these old stories could possibly remotely touch on. So some incredible work here. All 3 piles have had some really deep, visceral, powerful work in the world, and this is a really powerful group. So the next card here is on how you bring about world change. And this is incredible, through your own spiritual destiny, right? You learn to release all this BS from the past. Not happening, does not define me, not owning it, not subscribing to it. Through supporting others, either directly or indirectly, and showing them that, hey, they too can unsubscribe at any second. They don't have to subscribe to that. They can unsubscribe and move on. You bring forth a new future collectively on planet Earth that is more true to who we all are as divine, powerful, sovereign beings. You are bringing about a change on planet Earth where we step into our true, whole, utmost powerful divine nature, that we step into the image of God, right? You support people to do that by letting go of these old limitations, letting go of these old stories, letting go of these old narratives, letting go of these old projections that literally have nothing to do with them, There are stories being repeated from the past, right? It's like, I'm thinking of an old record player. That's not my era, but that's what's coming up. But it's like that tape that just goes over and over and over again. Stop it. Stop that tape, right? And I know you know this because this is your destiny. So you already know this. But the change that you bring about collectively on this globe, the world change is a visionary future that aligns everyone in their own sovereign, whole, divine, and powerful nature. That nothing from the past has to have a say unless we say it does, that the past does not have an influence unless we decide it was, and that we have the ability and power to commit to a different path, a different vision, a different knowing, a different life, a different experience. So you actually bring forth something that is, it's a visionary future. It's a new future. It's a future that is not defined by the past. It is a future that is defined by the truth of this moment and the truth of what we are calling in now. That is what you bring forth. And finally, this is really cool. The final part of your spiritual destiny is calling together a community of people that stand behind you. I feel some emotion around this. This is some beautiful work. Woo! You call in a community of people who rally behind you, who believe in this cause, who believe in you, who believe and honor what you stand for, and that there is a future coming through, that we are calling in something different, and that it is not defined by the past or the old stories or the old narratives or the old BS. You call in a community of people that stand in a similar position as you, that are also releasing their ties and narratives from the past. You call in a community of beings that become whole, sovereign, free, and support you, and not necessarily you directly. It could be that they support you directly, but it's really just this community of like-hearted, like-minded beings that are all operating independently or even interdependently to create a new planet, to create a new earth, even more specifically to create a new human experience. So you are calling forth this tribe of people, or this group or community of people who align with this belief system, and they not only change their own lives, they change neighborhoods and communities and cultures. It's like, this isn't what you came here for. Group 3 isn't just personal change or even the people that you interact with indirectly or directly, like in your social circle. You came here to change entire demographics of people. You came here to change entire communities of people. You came here to create a new narrative for huge bands and groups of people. You came here as the truth speaker, the truth teller, to create change and transformation for giant groups of people and for the planet at large. That's incredible. Powerful work. So that's it for you, Group 3. I thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you all next time. Take care.